It's a huge question, isn't it? Hardly a day goes by when we don't come across some sort of suffering. Devastation caused by earthquakes and tsunamis, millions living in poverty, a loved one battling with cancer, family breakdowns, bullying. People suffer, we suffer. So it's right to say to God, God, if you're there, why don't you do something about it? Well, imagine we could actually tell God what to do. Where would you suggest he starts? Well, how about God gets rid of the terrorists and the murderers? That would make the world a lot better place for some people. But suffering, it hasn't been eradicated yet. Well, how about God gets rid of paedophiles and thieves and drug dealers? And we can see, can't we, that the world's getting a much nicer place. But it still isn't perfect. How about God gets rid of the unkind, the gossips, the liars, the selfish? Oh, but that's actually me. You see, when we ask God to get rid of suffering, we're actually asking him to get rid of us. Yes, we suffer, but we actually cause loads of suffering ourselves. That time when we lost our temper with someone, when we trod on someone to get to where we wanted to, when we ignored our kids because we were just too tired or busy, when we gossiped about a work colleague, when we were just plain nasty to someone. We cause much suffering. So if we demand that God throws suffering out of this world, we're actually demanding that he throws us out too. Well, God is delaying the day when he will deal with all suffering so that we can realise we're part of the problem and we can ask him if there's any way not to be thrown out of his world. That's an answer, but the Bible offers us much more than that. I don't know you, and maybe you've clicked on this video because you're really struggling with something at the moment. When I've struggled in the past, what I need more than answers is hope. I need to know that I'm going to get through this suffering, and I need to know that there's something beyond this suffering. And the amazing thing is that God knows what you're going through when you suffer, because he himself suffered. God lived on earth as a man, Jesus, and Jesus suffered and he even died in agony on a cross. He promises to be with those who trust in him, comforting them and helping them through their suffering. But even more amazing than that promise is that God promises that one day he will put an end to all suffering. Those guilty of causing suffering will one day have to answer to him, and justice, it will be done. He promises that he'll make a perfect world, a world of no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for those things will be gone forever. And God says that because Jesus died, you, me, anyone can ask for a place in his perfect world instead of being thrown out of it. When I'm going through suffering, knowing that God is with me and that one day I'll live with him in his perfect world are two amazing hopes that keep me going. Well, this is a huge and it's a really emotional subject, and I've only had a couple of minutes to talk to you about it. But why not go along to a good local church, and there you'll find some people who will be able to help you practically, who'll be able to listen to you and answer any more questions you have. Churches, they're just full of people who have suffered in the past and may still be suffering now. But they know the promises of God, that he will be with them and that one day they will live with him forever in a world with no more suffering.